Welcome back everybody to another close reading video. I'm Adam Walker, and today we are reading Shakespeare's Sonnet 33, which, like many of the sonnets we've examined already, is a meditative sonnet. It has the octet, the first 8 lines of description or meditation on the natural world, and then the following sestet applies it in some way to the narrator's circumstance. So that's what we're going to see here today. So let's switch over, and I will read this first. Full many a glorious morning have I seen flatter the mountain tops with sovereign eye, kissing with golden face the meadows green, gilding pale streams with heavenly alchemy. Anon permit the basest clouds to ride with ugly wrack on his celestial face, and from the forlorn world his visage hide, stealing unseen to west with this disgrace. Even so, my sun one early morn did shine with all triumphant splendor on my brow. But out, alack, he was but 1 hour mine. The region cloud hath masked him from me now. Yet him for this my love no whit disdaineth. Sons of the world may stain when heaven's sun staineth. So what we have here in this sonnet is, as I said, the first 8 lines right there. That's the octet, and then the sestet begins right here, where we would expect to find the volta or the turn, and that's where the thematic turn shifts from meditation to, I guess you could say, application. But he's describing a morning. Seems like a summer morning when the meadows are green. Full many, which means very many, full many a glorious morning have I seen flatter the mountain tops with sovereign eye. Now that's interesting for a number of reasons. Sovereign eye we would expect would be the sun. We saw this in Sonnet 24 and Sonnet 18, where the sun is like an eye. The eye of heaven shines, as Sonnet 18 says. But what's strange is that this sovereign eye, sovereign or king, the sun is like a king in the sky, but the sovereign eye is flattering. And what's strange is we usually don't see the king flattering, so there's a bit of some condescension going on here. I just think there's some kind of joke going on here between I and the lyrical I of the poem. I think Shakespeare plays with the double meanings there. But what is the eye doing? Well, kissing with golden face the meadows green, gilding pale streams with heavenly alchemy. Now I was reading over this, and I'm not too sure if kissing refers to the sovereign eye or the glorious morn, but I settled on sovereign eye because it comes down here, stealing unseen to the west, must refer to the sovereign eye. So the sovereign eye, kissing with golden face, the meadows green. Now what's interesting, we have 3 metaphors going on. Here's kissing, the metaphor of love. That's the first one. Gilding, pale streams. So the sun is gilding. Gilding was artistic, really. So we've got some art, an art metaphor. Gilding was where they would overlay something like a wooden structure or brick with gold. So it's really just the surface of whatever it was gilded with gold. And then we have heavenly alchemy. Now, alchemy was the study of turning metals into different kinds of metals. So the study of alchemy was really focused towards learning how to turn metals into gold. And so that's what's being done here. So we have a metaphor of love, a metaphor of art, and a metaphor of chemistry or alchemy. And that's what the sun is doing to this spring or summer landscape. And notice, too, how beautiful it sounds. We have the L's here, gilding pale streams, and heavenly alchemy, and then the E sounds. That combines a very liquid and beautiful texture to this line here. Now, anon, which means soon. So this I still is the subject, the sovereign I. Soon permit the basest clouds to ride. Basis meaning low. With ugly wrack or mass on his celestial, meaning heavenly, face. And from the forlorn world his visage hide. Visage was basically his face, or countenance, stealing unseen to west with this disgrace. So again, wrapping up this octet here, what was interesting that we noted with the sovereign eye doing the flattering is that the sovereign eye condescends to flatter the meadows. That's one type of condescension. Another is that he's permitting the clouds to obscure his face, the ugly rack of clouds, and then he steals away in disgrace because he was covered by the clouds. So that's strange, but something to note. Even so, because it will come to complicate this application here, even so my sun one early morn did shine with all triumphant splendor on my brow. Okay, so you see what he's doing. He's cast himself as, well, basically the landscape. His brow is like the meadow, and his sun, personified friend or perhaps lover, is the sovereign eye here. But out alack, this is an exclamation of despair, but oh alas, or oh out alack, he was but 1 hour mine. The region cloud hath masked him from me now. So remember how the clouds hid the face. Well, here we've got that imagery again with just this metaphor mask. So you see how much is packed into a single word. These single verbs here containing 3 metaphors within just 2 lines. And again, this word masks, hearkening back to the image that was already accumulated in this sonnet. The thing to end that's interesting here is he. Unlike the other sonnets, that some of which are addressed to someone, this one is not exactly. We do have the lyrical I, so the narrator is speaking in the first person, but he's talking about his friend in the third person. He was but 1 hour mine, complaining that he didn't have much time to admire him, and the region cloud hath masked him from me now. So another interesting thing about this, if the narrator's beloved is the sun, or his friend is the sun, by the logic of the first 8 lines, he is disgraced by not gracing the presence of his friend. Here comes the turn here in the final couplet, another turn. Yet him for this my love with no wit disdaineth. No wit means not at all. Disdain means, I guess, to scorn. So he said, yet for this being masked, yet because he's masked, my love, I do not disdain. No wit disdaineth. Sons of the world may stain when heaven's sun staineth. So a couple things here. First is the pun on sun, which we know was personified as this person addressed in third person. It could also be a pun, son of the world, meaning a man. But notice too the structure of antithesis here. The sons of the world is pitted with heaven's sun. But let's get to the sense of this. If the sun allows clouds to dim its brightness, then it's no shame that men allow others to dim their brightness. Perhaps this is what it's saying. But the application is clearly drawn from the meditative octet. Now, Colin Burrow mentions that these final lines could mean that the narrator is making an excuse for his friend by saying that his masking is not his fault. It happens. And this complaint that the friend or the beloved is no longer around, or that the narrator has fallen out of favor with him, is something that is a theme that's going to be picked up in later sonnets as well. So be on the lookout for that. Hope this was helpful, and until next time.